What's going on, everybody? So today we're here to talk about all the different ways to get primals, and I do mean all the ways that I know of. I've had a lot of questions in my previous video asking what you could do to get primals, and a lot of people were confused on some of the responses in the comment section, so I'm here to address them because apparently it's a little bit more unknown than I originally thought. However, not really too surprising because a lot of you out there maybe coming to the game for the first time, or maybe a little bit newer to the game, or maybe just returning. We're going to talk about all the ways, especially with season 28. If you guys have finished the altar, you're going to get a secondary primal every single time you get a primal with this last thing from the altar. So you really want to know the ways to get primals because you could start farming a ton of primals, way more than any other season. So hopefully this helps. Let's get into it. Now, before we dive into our first method, obviously, I feel like I'm obligated to mention that if you're looking for primals, before you do any of these methods where you start to grind out, maybe using some materials or whatever, try to go ahead and get this first because, well, you're going to want to get double primals, right? Now, obviously, you could actually use these methods to get to this point because you do need to salvage 6 primals, so that's not really necessarily a bad thing. But if you're looking to grind out primals, the sooner you get that, the better, right? So let's go to our first method, that's GR70. This is a very, very basic one, guys. Most people are going to know about this one. But once you hit GR70, you're actually going to unlock the primals, and you're going to get a free guarantee drop from 70. Hopefully it's a good one, okay? Very, very simple. Nothing too much to talk about there. You're just going to go ahead and do that solo 70, and hopefully you're going to get something good. You know, most of the time it's going to be pretty something that you're just going to salvage. Let's move on to our second method here, and that's going to be the cube recipes. This is actually something that a lot of people do not know. They didn't realize how many people did not know this, but wherever you can get ancients, you can get primals. So reforging a legendary item, for example, if you're looking for a puzzle ring, you can actually get an ancient or primal ancient puzzle ring from this, for example, if you're looking for that. Or maybe you're just reforging it because you want to get an ancient, I don't know, main hand or whatever weapon for your Tall Rasha build. Well, you can actually drop a primal from this. Now, it's actually quite an expensive recipe, right? 5 bounty mats. It's actually a decent amount of time. You can run this recipe 8 times for every group bounties that you do. But if you do have a group and you're running bounties consistently, this is actually a very, very nice way to maybe get some extra rolls in. Again, the drop rate for primal ancients, for those of you that don't know, is roughly 0.25%. So it's going to be 1 in 400 rolls. You're going to get a primal ancient. So much more difficult than to get than an ancient, but you can get it from the reforged legendary. Upgrade rare item. This can also be primals. A lot of people did not know this one as well. You can, and a lot of people do, farm for ancients here. Many people have a lot of extra crafting materials. So if you're just curious one day, you can load up, you know, a full inventory of whatever main hand you want or whatever armor piece you want, whatever you want, upgrade those rares into those, you know, legendaries, and you potentially could get a primal from here as well. And lastly, here for the recipes, I want to mention the actual literally just upgrading a legendary item. This is specifically for season 28, using 100 primordial ashes, which is basically 2 salvages of a primal. You get 55 primordial ashes from a salvage of a primal. So if you guys are, you know, starting out and you get your 70 weapon and then you get another one or whatever, you can salvage those and then put in your legendary and then upgrade it to a primal. Now, 2 things with this. First off, your stats get re-rolled. So if you are interested in getting, I don't know, for example, right here, which I do have, this is a crafted primal here. If you're interested in getting specific stats, for example, let's say you're going to do a ring or an amulet and you don't get crit rate, crit damage, it could be honestly mediocre to not that great. So make sure that you're going to do something that has a relatively good chance of rolling well. On top of that, if you do not like the rolls and you wish to re-roll your item, this is part 2, do not just re-roll your item. When I say re-roll, what I mean is salvage this item and then upgrade a different item that's the same, but not, or I guess you say a different item that's the same type to a primal. Why? Because you're gonna get 55 primordial ashes back, so you can use that towards the recipe again. And one other thing about this recipe, you can only wear 1 crafted primal at a time. That's very, very important. Let's move on to some other ways to get them. The next one is going to be crafting. And this is something that, again, a lot of people didn't realize this, but you can actually craft primals. So we're actually going to try our luck here. I'm just gonna roll up. We'll craft, I don't know, let's see, we'll do like 20 bracers, and maybe I'll do some shoulders as well here. Let's do 20 of each and see if we get lucky here. So we're gonna do 20 shoulder pieces. Oh, okay, go away please. And we're gonna see how this goes. Boom, so we crafted 20, and you can see here, how many ancients do we get? We got 1, 2, 3. We got 3 of 20. So honestly, quite lucky. To be honest, that's actually not bad. But we did not get what we were looking for, which is those primals, right? We'll try again here at our luck at it, just for fun here for the video. I'm just gonna salvage all these. Boom. Yeah, we could just salvage all of these. And then let's go ahead and recraft again some more materials here. Or let's do another 10 here for the bracers. We're running out of materials at this point. Here we go. Boom, craft another 10. And in this case, we didn't even get ancient. So it is rare. Again, it's 1 in 400, but any extra resources that you guys may have, make sure that you're going to craft those level 70 set items. So the Guardian sets, your Awe Guild sets, those types of things, they will definitely give you the potential of getting those primals that you're so looking for. But keep in mind that those recipes are decently expensive. Remember, you do need to get those parts, the veil crystals, the dust, and the bounty mats to even be able to attempt this recipe. That's going to be the other method. And the last and arguably the best method is, I guess, twofold: farming greater rifts and gambling. Okay, so farming greater rifts, this is something that basically 99% of your gameplay should be. Roll up, go ahead and do your level 100. I went over this in a previous video, and again, some people seem to not quite understand what I was going at. So I'll explain it. I think this is like the third time, just to see if I can get the message across here. When doing Greater Rift level 90, you have the potential chance to drop 10 to 12 legendaries or set items, okay? When you drop 10, the other 2 will be lower quality, meaning yellows or blues. But on level 100, you're guaranteed to get 12 legendaries and set items, which means when you're farming level 100, that is the maximum viability for loot. And obviously primals drop from, legendaries or sets, so they're going to be ancient or primal ancient, which means level 100 is going to be the best chance of you getting primals. So that's what you're going to want to look for. Obviously, if you're looking for just loot, the fastest way to farm primals is to be farming GR100 as fast as humanly possible, right? So like 1 minute, 1 minute 30, something like that is great time if you're just looking for the primals themselves. Now, obviously, I usually recommend going higher if you can. If you can do like 105, 110, 120, 130 at the same rate, that's great too. But that is going to be the fastest way to get primals. And then, of course, with the resources you get here, you're going to be able to use that Greater Rift, which if you're doing the higher ones, you're gonna get more blood shards, and then you're gonna head over to Kadala, and then you can go ahead and start gambling away at whatever piece you would like to acquire. Now, keep in mind that as far as I've seen, every single thing that can get you a primal will give you a second one if you have the altar bonus. This is something that I think is pretty important just to mention before we wrap up the video. So if you're dropping a primal item, when it says drops, it doesn't actually mean drops. So for example, if you gamble one, you get a second one. It doesn't necessarily have to be dropping. So that's as far as what I've seen from anyone that's actually gotten double primals. I personally have not really gotten a ton of primals so far. So keep that in mind. Hopefully this helps, guys. This is basically every way that I know of to get primals. You can think of it as any way that you can get an ancient item, you could get a primal ancient item. It's basically just an upgraded ancient. It is that 1 out of 400 chance. Woo, can't speak right there. But 1 out of 400 chance, which means it's going to take you a long time. If you're getting 12 legendaries or 12 set items per, run. If we pull up a calculator here, we do a little bit of math. We do 400 divided by 12. Oops. Oh my goodness, I just misclicked, guys. Jeez. We're looking at 33 greater rifts, right? So every 33 greater rifts, on average, you're going to be expecting a primal. But keep in mind, it is RNG, so there's no guarantee, and there's certainly a possibility for you to go way past that, past whatever amount you think you can get. For example, just like the Gibbering Gemstone, you can go for 1 run, or you can go for 100 runs. It's just what ends up happening. Thanks for watching, everyone. And if you enjoyed, like the video, guys, sub to the channel. And hopefully this was one of the ways that you did not know about previously. And I'll see you for the next one.